Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the annual WYMT Winter Blood Drive is underway. We hope to have a live update. Plus, former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is arraigned in a U.S. courtroom. The latest on this historic moment in international affairs.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was arraigned in New York City today after his dramatic capture and extradition during the weekend. WYMT senior national correspondent Peter Zampa was inside the federal courthouse.
History unfolding here at the Moynihan Courthouse in New York City. A foreign leader arraigned on multiple charges brought by the U.S. Justice Department. Former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, pleading not guilty to these charges after being taken from their home early Saturday morning by U.S. forces. Protesters and supporters gathering outside the federal courthouse where the former first couple of Venezuela made their first appearance after being extradited Saturday. Inside, Maduro and his wife wearing matching black prison jumpsuits, vehemently denying wrongdoing. The charges Maduro faces: 4 counts: narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices. The 92-year-old judge, Alvin Hellerstein, keeping proceedings moving as the two were read their charges through a translator. Maduro and Flores are not requesting bail at this time, leaving the option open for a later date, meaning they will both remain detained in Brooklyn for now. Both also requesting medical attention, the attorney for Flores saying she sustained fractured ribs during her capture. Now, as for what's next in this case, it's expected to be a lengthy pretrial process. The case might not begin for over a year. Now, March 17th is the next date to look out for. That's when we expect Maduro and Flores back in court to go through some of these pretrial motions. And the defense says this could take a long time. There is a lot of complex law to sift through, given the nature of their capture. Reporting in New York, I'm Peter Zampa.
Kentucky Democratic Congressman Morgan McGarvey is condemning the Trump administration's action in Venezuela. Representative McGarvey says the president is not doing anything to make America safer.
He has just flat out said this is for the oil companies. That's why he's doing this. And we have to make sure that we're being thoughtful, that we're keeping America and Americans safe.
Now, Republicans Mitch McConnell, Hal Rogers, and Andy Barr have all supported the president's actions. We will have more about a stop Congressman Barr made in Harlan County today in our next half hour. A person is in custody after an incident at the home of Vice President J.D. Vance. Vance's home in the East Walnut Hills neighborhood of Cincinnati. Cincinnati police say the Secret Service is handling the investigation. Authorities are investigating whether a person was targeting Vance or his family. They do not believe the person entered the vice president's home. The Trump administration is deploying around 2,000 federal agents to Minneapolis. 2 law enforcement officials say the move is part of an immigration crackdown. Senior Trump officials have recently fixated on Minnesota and its Somali community after accusations of alleged welfare fraud. Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin declined to offer details about the deployment. Also in Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz has ended his re-election campaign and will not seek a 3rd term as governor. The former vice presidential candidate has been under fire due to claims of potential fraud at some daycare centers in his state. Sources say former presidential candidate Amy Klobuchar is strongly considering a run for governor following Walz's announcement. It is the final day in Congress for outgoing Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. The once ally of President Trump and now critic announced her resignation back in November. Her departure leaves the House with 219 Republicans and 213 Democrats. A new bipartisan budget plan could partly diffuse concerns over the next government shutdown deadline. It costs about $180 billion. That's less than Biden-era spending levels, but more than President Donald Trump's initial budget request. The package contains funding for energy programs and scientific research, as well as the Justice Department and other agencies. The next funding deadline is January 30th.
Hi everybody, Chris Bailey with you on this Monday doing a little pinch hit work. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Our work week off and running on an absolutely gorgeous note. Here's the view along the Kentucky-Tennessee border, I-75 into Whitley County. If you're out this evening into the overnight, you're going to have some stars that'll shine from time to time. Little cloud cover, partly cloudy. It is a windy overnight. Temperatures only low in mid 40s here into early January. First alert, radar network across the mountains. Absolutely nothing that is going on as of right now. Broaden out the view a little bit. Lots of clouds that are streaming in from the west. We got a mild surge of air ahead of low pressure number 1. We got a series of storm systems that are set to impact the region over the next several days. And in doing so, they bring us a really mild pattern until we flip it around just in time for the weekend. We're going to see a big swing. Thunderstorms, some of those may be strong, to some snowflakes in just a couple of days. We've got that in the 10-day forecast coming up.
All right, Chris, thank you. A Kentucky high school student is dead after a hunting incident. Officials with Dawson Springs Independent Schools in Hopkins County in western Kentucky shared the news about Aiden McKinney's death to families. The school did not release any additional details about what exactly happened. The district says counselors and support staff were made available to students and faculty to help them cope with the loss. One person died at a ski resort in West Virginia. Officials with Timberline Mountain Ski Resort in Tucker County say the person died yesterday. Officials also say that an investigation is underway about how the person died. No other details were released. In Buchanan County, Virginia, police say they arrested a man who was wanted on felony charges. It happened around 6 o'clock last Friday. Police pulled over Billy Shannon Klein, who they also say had a gun. Deputies say Klein was involved in a brief standoff before leaving his vehicle and walking the highway. Klein was eventually charged after he made his way to a home on Treetop Road. On top of the warrants, police say more charges are pending against Klein. In Pulaski County, one man is behind bars after police say he crashed into a power pole. It happened last Saturday in the 500 block of West Columbia Street in Somerset. Officials say when the truck hit the utility pole, it brought power lines down. The man, whose name was not released, was arrested. In Mason County up in northern Kentucky, Maysville police made 2 arrests from a traffic stop this morning. Officers found the driver to be Sarah Baker, who had an active arrest warrant for felony assault. The passenger, Joshua Choate, was discovered to be a convicted felon and was also arrested after 2 guns were found in the car. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, we take a look at what officials in one Kentucky county are doing to curb deadly overdoses.